I want to welcome everyone here. I'm very thankful that you showed up, and it's an honor to meet y'all. And let's see, what we're going to be doing tonight is working with people and some explanations, some understandings. If there's any questions, I just love to answer questions if I can. And so I am a healer by the grace of God. It's what I do in my life, and it's most enjoyable. I've been doing this for 37 years and worked with, I don't know, maybe 25 to 35,000 people over the many years. And it's all I do. Most people tell me that something in their life has changed, and that's all that really matters to me. And I always tell a story in the larger groups that one time many years ago in the Chicago area, literally between 50 all the way up to 200 people every single week. It was through word of mouth that people would show up before a lot of the internet use. And so it was in a healing circle, and all these people are all around. And then everyone is just, it's real casual event no matter where I go and offer these things. And so one time in the circle, this one fellow, he popped up and he said, "Wow, you must feel really good when you heal someone." And I stopped, and everyone's looking at me, waiting for an answer. And I said, "You know, I don't give a damn. The only thing that really matters is if a person's life changes. And that's all that matters to me." And it may happen, someone may experience something either right away. They may begin to go through their healing process, and the discomforts or disease or whatever it is, it just leaves them. Or as soon as they walk out the door, it may begin to happen. Or walking down the street 2 weeks or 2 months later, they may turn around and say, "Oh my God, when did this leave me?" I don't know when, how, why, what, where, or anything else. I pretty much leave it to the old man or old woman upstairs. And I say, "Take over, boss," because it's doing the healing in the first place. I have nothing to do with it except as a mediator for that to happen here on Earth. And that's what I do. I don't know how or why or anything else. And I just say, "Take over, boss." And I figure that it's better for the boss to have the responsibility than me have the responsibility. So what we're working with is the energetics and the light, and the light is manipulating the dysfunction or the disease or the infirmity and creating some kind of a change. Or it may lead into a doctor finally saying, "Oh my God, after 25 years or 50 years or 5 years or 5 months, I can find the problem of this, the causal of it." And that's fine. It's part of the healing process. Some people need intervention by medical science, and some people don't. So there's no right or wrong, good or bad, not in the mind of God. Any questions I can try to answer? Anything from anyone, please. Anything. Feel free. Try to stump me. Please feel free. Stacy or DJ or Alex?
I got a quick question for you, Mark.
Please.
I am so far out of the loop on this path. Your orange concentration meditation may still be out there someplace. I do not know. I used to have it on cassette tape.
Uh-huh.
I don't have it anymore. Is that still available?
Lynn's going to be putting all my audios on the internet again, on my website.
Awesome.
And so it will be available, yes. And it won't be in CD form. Excuse me, it won't be in audio cassette form like it used to be years ago.
Small favor for that. Thank you.
It'll be downloadable, and it's also available on the audiobook that was put out by Nightingale Conant a couple years ago. And so, but there it's caught in between all the dialogue.
Okay.
So but it will be available. The orange focus exercise is a concentration focus exercise that I learned in my order about 37 years ago. And it's the first thing that my teacher gave to me. And he went over it verbally, and I had to do it right there. But he took about maybe 15 minutes to do it. And he says, okay, from there on, afterwards, he said, do it on your own from now on. So I had to learn how to do it from there. And it's the same audio, same wordage that he gave me when I first learned it. And everyone in the order had to do it. It was a part of the discipline. And so it's about 5,000 years old, this exercise, approximately. And it's awesome. Your ability to focus will increase just, some people say, between 100 to 500% in 2 weeks' time. And it's having an actual orange and putting it on top of your hand with the top up where the stem comes out. And just you're using both brains when you're doing it. And with your eyes open and you're listening to it. And for, say, a week or 2 weeks, you're following the audio with it. And then just 5 days a week, 1 time a day, no more than that, or 4 days a week if you choose. And it takes about, I think about 12 minutes, the way that I have it. And with nothing's gone out of it, really. It's a little bit quicker than what my teacher gave to me. And then after 2 weeks doing it on your own, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days a week, you'll see that after 2 weeks alone, your ability to focus between 1 to 500%. It's incredible, totally incredible. And not only does it help you in right-left brain, but because you're listening, you're not thinking anything. As soon as you start thinking, listen again. It's reminding yourself to listen again. And as you practice that over 5 days or 10 days, you'll see that your ability to listen increases so incredibly. It's just an amazing exercise. And that's exactly what it is. It's an exercise. It's a concentration exercise. It's not a meditation or anything like that. And the other audio CDs are also exercises and contemplations, the ones that I have. I have 4 others besides that one, so 5. And so it's very usable. And then after, say, a couple weeks, you're doing it on your own. And you'll see that you're easily able to do it. And for someone like myself to say that, I don't have a memory necessarily, but it's like it's ingrained in you. I haven't had a memories ever since childhood. And if it's worldly things, people remind me. Thank God. So, good question. Good, it's going to be up, and Lynn's going to be putting them up as soon as she gets the internet together there. And up in Canada, where she's from, she's had a lot of massive, massive storms, snowstorms and power outages and everything. So, anyone, please, any questions about anything other than that? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I actually have a question. And funny enough, Lynn is actually my mother.
Oh my God, okay. Oh, okay. You're the one.
Yeah, yeah. She's been working with you for a while now. And just recently, actually, something just inside me really felt like I needed to meet you. I'm not sure why, but so I'm here.
Welcome.
Thank you. I was kind of like, I'm very intuitive.
You're kind of what? I'm sorry?
Sorry?
You're kind of what?
Oh, intuitive?
Okay.
Like I have very good intuition.
Yes.
But I just can't.
I'm curious. Are you married yet?
Not yet.
No, but you were just thinking about marriage.
Yeah.
And, okay, I just wanted to show you that in a sense, or I know it's not in a sense, I take that back. I just wanted to show you that you are intuitive.
Right.
If I was able to pick up on that, that means that it's a part of your life too to be of that nature. There is a correlation there where you are intuitive, I know. It's
Right.
not kind of intuitive.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm very.
All right, good, good, excellent, excellent. So go ahead and say more, please.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just have this feeling that I need to speak to you, and I'm
Okay.
not sure if it's health related or if I just needed to talk to you.
Yeah, it was more of a needing to have that communication.
Yeah.
And it's not health related. Don't worry about that, please.
Okay.
Don't go there.
Okay. I won't.
All right, good. Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Hmm.
And you will get information, you know, from all this stuff. And there's no gift that humankind has that doesn't also include intuition,
Okay.
and keeping that in mind. And you do have a calling for working with healing, and it's part of your life. To what degree, I don't know.
Okay.
But it is part of your life. It's not formed yet, and you're forming that in your life.
Right.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. Hi, who's on the phone number 0306?
Oh, this is Rose Chrisman.
Hi, Rose. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh my God, look at the doggy. How awesome.
I'm here trying to figure out the other part, the video part.
Okay.
If I don't, I'm here at least in voice.
All righty. Lynn, are you there? She might be off getting tea or water. And maybe she can help in some way or another. I don't know. But when she comes back, maybe she can help you.
I'm not sure if she's gonna come back. Her screen's frozen.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But if Rose, are you on your phone or your computer?
She's on her phone.
I'm on.
Say that again, Rose.
I'm on my phone.
And
Okay, I just tapped the Zoom link, so hopefully.
oh, hopefully that'd be great. There you are.
I
What?
am. Oh,
Yay.
you can. Okay.
All righty. And Alex is still with us? All right. And she's frozen right now, too. She's up in Canada. And where did you say you're from, Rose? Arizona?
Actually, I am actually from Arizona, but I'm living in Sacramento, California right now.
Oh, my gosh. Welcome. All right. Great. And let's see. There's Alex. All right.
Yeah, sorry. My internet's not very well or good
We got
either.
Rose. Good. All right. Fantastic. So please, questions about anything I can try to answer. Deidre, anything, hon? Any kind of
Sure,
question?
the audio's back on. I don't have any new super relevant questions. I've been out of touch for quite a while, so it's nice to just be back and join the group. I loved hearing Alex's question and your confirmations on information surrounding the question.
All right, good, good. All righty. And Rose, please, anything you'd like to ask or find out about? Or Velva?
Well, I haven't been to a healing circle for many years. I used to come in person.
I know.
So delighted to find out that this was going on and that I could connect via phone.
Wonderful. Yeah, once a month we're doing this. All right. Velva, anything, hon?
I'm totally new to the whole experience, so I'm not sure even what to present.
All right.
Happy to be a part of it.
All right, great. All right. Well, let's start off with Deidre. Is there anything in your body that's bugging you? Please, would you like to share?
Is there anything in my body that isn't bugging me?
What? Name one major thing, please.
I think the largest impact right now is the ramifications of a concussion I suffered as the result of a car accident in June.
Okay.
Lots of trouble with concentration, focus. The underlying issue, and Mark, I used to see you at the dance center in Des Plaines.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Oh, it's been many, many, many years.
Did a seminar with you as well. And so some of that other underlying stuff you're probably finding as well. But my bigger concern right now is my inability to retain information, focus, and the self-esteem hit that I'm taking as a result.
Yes, that's a byproduct. The self-esteem. All right, good. What I'd like you to do is take off your glasses, hon, just for a second, and put your hands on the table or desk, whatever it is, or your lap, whatever you want. Now, I'm going to close your eyes for a second, or for about a minute, and tell me when you begin to feel something happen, hon.
Like when I feel the connection.
Yeah. You'll get a sense in your skull.
There you are.
And with your eyes closed, give me an update what's happening as it happens, okay?
It's actually mostly heat.
And just enjoy it. The heat is a reaction, a biological reaction within you, and a cranial reaction.
And a little bit of discomfort in my right arm, so I'm adjusting that position.
Okay, that's fine. And there, what happened?
A greater sense of calm. And my ears are not ringing for the first time in a long time.
There.
Peace, which is deeper than calm, I suppose.
Little bit. And there.
Clarity is the word that comes to mind.
Good. Now let's see what we can do with that.
And how about release?
There we go. Now open up your eyes and move around a little bit and tell me if you notice any difference in the way you feel.
I always cry when I see you. It's a good one.
Territory.
It's almost a requirement. I feel steadier. Like I'm more connected to my own body.
Stoop up and down for a second.
Stoop up and down. You mean like this one?
Yeah, and bend down on your knees, hon.
Yeah.
And tell me how your head feels.
like it's attached to my body.
Darn. Another human.
No, really, I feel more whole.
And move your head around a little bit and tell me if you notice anything in there.
Yeah, it feels like the base of my skull is less restricted with the motion in the cervical spine.
Lovely.
Chiropractor's going to be jealous. Yay.
Let's see if that doesn't create a change.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My honor. All right, great, great. Hey, you, how you doing? All right, all right. Rose, is there anything in your body that's bugging you, or anything you'd like to ask about, or anything, please?
Yes, I feel totally exhausted just all the time, it seems. I know I have a stressful job, but I'm just, yeah, I wake up tired.
You know, my teachers years ago taught me a great exercise. And what they did was they told me, or this one particular fellow told me to, when I'm going to sleep at night, to picture myself waking up in the morning while I'm going to sleep, to picture myself waking up in the morning and opening up a window and having the light come in through the window and washing over me. And this big, bright, lovely light, which was full of life. And then I would go to sleep, and I would, it's almost like the pattern was stuck in me, where then all of a sudden in the morning I would wake up like I opened up a window and there was this fantastic light. And it would just give me life.
Great idea.
But in the meantime,
I like that.
yeah, really neat. Have you ever experienced energy from another human before?
From what? I didn't catch it.
From another human?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, good. And if you would have said no, I would have said awesome, good. So either way. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a moment, please. And I'm going to imagine, which means to image in action, putting my hands on your head and asking a blessing on you, okay?
Yes.
And tell me if you should feel or sense something happening inside of you, hon. And be candid.
Well, I felt your hands on my head, most definitely.
All right.
I feel this sort of emotions coming from the top of my head and flowing through my body, and now coming out through my fingertips, like this energy.
Yes, it's almost like a washing.
Oh. I can feel it.
There. Now open up your eyes and move around a little bit and tell me if you notice any difference in the way you feel or whatever.
Far more relaxed. Much more relaxed. And I can turn my head much better. My neck isn't so stiff. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. How do you feel in your belly?
It's much more relaxed. I'm not tense.
Good. Excellent. Now
Thank
you
you.
can create that with the waking up in the morning and just imagining, going to sleep at night and imagine yourself waking up in the morning, opening up a window,
Okay.
and watch the light come in. Even though it's already in, but it's coming forth. But we symbolically see it as a window with light coming in.
I will do that. Thank you so much, Mark.
Great exercise. Great exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. It helps to set a pattern in another direction of what we've been living in our life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. I love it.
Miss Roenberg?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how
Sorry,
are
I
you?
missed the opening. I
Oh, that's fine.
fell asleep. So I had the Chicago cold that's been going around,
Oh,
and if my face looks real pink, my eyes are bright red because it's draining through there. I've got a cough that, like, I sound like a barking seal, and my voice has changed to a bass.
don't touch
So
me. No, I'm kidding.
I had to cancel my entire week of work, so
Oh, my
I'm
God.
not pleased.
Oh. You
So-
know, yeah, years ago, I learned when I was living in the order houses and stuff that a cold, they used to really pound it into us. A cold is just a cleansing.
Oh, I know.
And so it's good, but we don't want to keep it going necessarily.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I totally understand. Totally understand. I don't know if you ever heard this story years ago from me talking about it, but many years ago, while living in the order house, say in Fort Worth, there was it was a Saturday, and so I figured, oh, no one's going to be in the chapel, so I can go in there and have private time by myself and do some prayer work or whatever, meditation. And so I went into the chapel, and then as soon as I walked in, real quietly, there was Brother David kneeling before the altar, going, "Oh Lord, God, cleanse me, cleanse me," and he kept going like that, "Cleanse me." And I said, "I'm out of here." So I kind of real quietly, I didn't want him to know that I was hearing him, so I quietly walked out of the chapel and said, "I'll go back later." Well, later in the hallway, I was coming in from one direction, and Brother Dave was coming in from another direction, and in front of me was the teacher, and and David didn't see me, and I don't know if the teacher saw me or not, but the teacher just said, "Brother David?" And he says, "Yes." And he said, "How come you're always going through a cleansing? You always have a cold. What is that?" And I'm thinking to myself, I just heard him upstairs earlier, hacking away and praying to God to cleanse him. And he said, and the teacher said to him, "Are you asking for a cleansing all the time?" And I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking, oh God, what am I doing here? So I backed up out of the hallway and left. And I started thinking about that for a while. And, a cold is a common thing. I get one every four times a year, every quarter, it seems. And but he always had one. He was always sniffling and hacking away and sore throat and whatever, and blowing his nose and stuff. And so I started thinking about it, thinking, okay, if he called him on it, I wonder what's going to happen from this. And so it was the next day, David didn't have a cold anymore. And I'm thinking, whoa, there's something to this. So I started thinking, I get one every quarter. Why do I have to have one then? And so I pictured myself without one, and which was really wild. And so the next quarter came around, and I didn't have the symptoms of a cold anymore. I pictured myself without the symptoms, but I still had it inside because I felt it. But I didn't have the runny nose and the sore throat and the headache and stuffiness. And so for the next 10 years, I didn't have the symptoms anymore. And, it was 10 years later, I remembered that story of what had happened. And so I said, well, why do I even have to have the symptoms? And so I pictured myself without the symptoms anymore in my knowing. I really knew it with all my heart. And I said, get out of Dodge. I don't want you here anymore. You know, I don't want to feel you anymore inside me, even though I don't have the symptoms. And I really knew what it would feel like not to have the symptoms. And so I guess it was for the next many years, several years, I didn't even have a symptom. And inside myself, in knowing that I had one. And it wasn't until maybe about 10 years ago, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was going down this escalator, and there was this big fella, huge fella behind me, and he sneezed right on my neck, and I went, goodies. So that night, I had to come down with a cold, and I'm figuring, okay, you know, I want to see how this feels. I haven't had a cold in so long, it can't hurt me. So the next morning, I'm dying. And I start to think, I don't think I like this anymore. And I don't want to know what this is about anymore. And so it started to go away. And then by the next day, it was gone. But the whole idea in what I'm suggesting is, in our knowing, we can tell something, hey, take a hike, get out of Dodge. I don't want to have anything to do with you, and know it and feel what it's like to know it. Feel what it's like to not be a part of that, knowing that it's almost like an entity, as people might refer to it. Hey, doggy.
Sorry.
How neat. And so, you know, the more we know it, the more our mind is on that sickness, to varying degrees or whatever it might be, we can tell it to take a hike. And then in our minds, we're saying, okay, get out of here, and we can watch it, you know, leave, almost like a wisp out of us, coming out of us, eking out of us. It's like a shadow, and we know it's separate. It only takes a couple seconds to do that in reality. Does that make sense? And it'll ease the symptomology a lot. And it'll last shorter period of time.
Great. I've already had this for a week. Let's get rid of it.
Tell it to take a hike, get out of Dodge, you know, and picture your throat or just leaving first. Picture that. Or your cough, whatever you want. Or your stuffiness. Any particular aspect of that, tell it to take a hike and get out of Dodge. And watch it eke out of you, leak out of you, and trying to get away from you. If you can picture that and know it, and you might have to remind yourself 100 times a day, but it'll start to take effect more and more and more as you do that, as you begin to accomplish that. Then you'll see you'll be able to do it quicker the next time, or apply it to other things as well. And you'll become stronger in it. It's just like an athlete learning how to do an exercise or weightlifting. It takes practice. It takes developing the muscles to be able to do that. How's that?
Uh-huh. Mark, I don't usually get sick. I haven't been sick since 2011.
Oh my God.
This. So this is highly unusual, and I'd like it for it to go away.
Yes. Yes. Let's make the darn thing. I was going to say damn thing, but I don't swear. Let's make the darn thing do it. Focus on the darn thing. And what I'll do, I'm going to put one hand on your chest and one on your head, okay? All right, close your eyes for a second, hon. And I'm going to ask a blessing on you for that. And keep me updated if you might sense something happening inside yourself. like there. Did you just feel something happening in your nasal passages?
I can almost breathe through without breathing through my mouth, so that's nice.
How's your lower back been?
Okay.
Any disturbances the past few days with it? Just
Nope.
curious. All right, good. All right, that's great. Not saying there's going to be, but just, all right. Is it still a little bit easier in the breathing?
Yeah.
All right.
Could you work on my eyes just a little bit because they're still dripping?
Yeah, and that's part of a cleansing, so it's good, but the cleansing doesn't last that long.
Uh-huh.
All right, how do they feel?
They don't ache anymore.
Good.
Yeah, that feels better.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Rose, how are you doing?
I'm doing much better. I'm far calmer.
You rock. You rock. Deidre, please tell me how you're feeling, hon.
Still feeling more connected to myself and my surroundings.
All right. It's not still feeling. You are feeling.
I am.
There's a big difference. And it's remembering that. And what you're doing is you're bringing the members back, remembering yourself. And that's it's a process that's going to be happening in your body. And same with you, Rose. And, you know, keeping that in mind, please. Please.
Okay.
And Lindsay, how are you, my dear? Lindsay, you there? She can't hear. All right. Stacy, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Maybe being a little too quiet.
That's okay. And feel free to ask questions and stuff, okay?
All right.
All right, awesome. Awesome. So talk to me, Stacy. Is there anything in particular in your body that's bugging you?
I think the back thing, maybe you are picking up on me.
The lower back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to do, can you close your eyes for a moment, hon?
Sure.
And tell me if you begin to sense something. Is it mostly on the, let's see, my left, your right side?
Well, actually, it's my left. My left. Not,
And my right.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm dyslexic at times, and I apologize. Tell me if you sense something happening. Starting right now. There's a pressure. And it's actually coming from above your belt line on the right side of your spine.
Okay.
And I don't know medical terminology or anything else. It might be what they call the L3, L4 area. Is that correct?
That I don't know. I can't
Okay.
remember which end they start counting.
Either do I. And it's right above your belt line. Is that correct?
Well,
That's a causal area where I'm finding personally, my personal understanding.
well, and that would be good. I tend to hide things from myself, so yeah. No, I feel it more like sciatic stuff.
Yeah, I
And it
understand.
goes down my left leg.
Yes.
And I feel your energy. I just don't exactly know how to describe it. It's like waves.
It's a flow, yes, like waves, yes. Tell me the moment that you perceive it, it's almost like a flow where it's like open.
Oh, it's open. My head is. I get lightheaded, very
Okay.
lightheaded.
Now I'm going to wait until there's a consistency with that. It's vacillating back and forth. Now, when do you feel it the most? When you stand or when you sit or any time?
Mostly I work at a computer all day, so the longer I'm at that computer, the more I feel it.
Were you feeling it a little while ago or not?
It comes and goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a flow. Now, what I'd like you to do is to move around a little bit and tell me if you notice any kind of discomfort in your spinal area, please.
Not in the bottom. Oh, only a little bit, like right between my shoulder blades,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of weird.
And that might be, your whole spinal process being affected by what was there or what was developing from that in your structure. I don't know, I'm not medical, but that's my, assumption. So that might change as well over the next several days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All righty.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. How do you feel now?
I feel very good.
Sound marvelous, darling. All right. Velva, please. Is there anything that's bugging you?
Yes. I have so many issues. Maybe if we could zero in on a loss of hearing on my left ear that happened in a couple of months ago.
What happened?
I don't really know. I have TMJ, and I think that was a contribution to it. But I also got a cold very similar to the other lady talking, and
Yeah,
the residual I think came from something of that nature too.
possible. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
perhaps I mean I hesitate to share all of the things that are a nuisance, but that would be helpful.
Okay. All righty. And also, please do keep in mind that I do work with people privately via telephone appointments if you're not around. And I will be going to, if anyone's in Phoenix, I'll be going to Phoenix in a couple days where I'll be seeing people in appointments. And you can contact me. So what I'm going to do is close your eyes for a minute, Vilva, and I'm going to imagine, which means to image in action, putting my hands, just like I have with everyone else, putting my hands on your cheeks, okay,
Okay.
up to your ear. I'm immediately getting the pulsing, so that in my world, that means there's an irritation inside, inflammation.
Okay. I can feel your touch.
And keep me updated what happens, please, Velva.
Alrighty. Thank you.
I'm feeling a pressure or pulsing. There.
I have a bit of a, I want to call it a pull. It's very slight twinge going down from the bottom of the earlobe down my neck on that side.
And most of the resistance I'm getting is on my left, your right side.
Oh, wow.
How funny. Maybe that's recalibration from both sides. I don't know.
Possibly. I definitely know that well, the right ear acts out, but not in the way of loss of hearing.
And my perception is that it's almost like a log jam right underneath the ear inside.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So let's see what we can do about that. Do you hear really fine little poppings?
Right now?
Yes.
Not poppings. I do feel it's like a tickle. Oh, I do hear the popping.
There you go.
Really small.
Yeah, real fine, real, very, very fine, real subtle.
Okay, Amy.
There's a little bit of an opening. It's almost like an expansion.
For me, there's a feeling of going through a tunnel where your ears close up on that side.
there. How does that like log jam in there feel? Any different, the same, worse, better, what? You tell me, please.
It is the same, but I do feel heat in that general area that I didn't
Good.
have before.
Let it be.
Okay.
Let it be. That's good. The heat's hitting is indicative of a reaction in the physiological, biological, neurological bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And not to separate them, but you know, because it's all synchronistic as far as culmination.
Okay. Do you see that as a
Not permanent.
thank you. That's yeah. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Rosa. How you doing, Deidre?
Well,
Good. Rose?
Fine, thank you.
Joan? Miss Rolenberg? How you doing?
Breathing with greater ease. Thank you.
Good, 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 good. Stacy?
I'm feeling good.
All righty. All right. Do you notice any differences?
Yes.
What kind of differences are you noticing, please?
It's mostly an attitude. Like, feel lighter, less heavy.
Do you feel, to me, my perception is almost like there's a clarity now, and it's not even thinking as deeply as you were.
Yeah, I have a tendency to overanalyze things. I do.
That's okay, and
It's
that's
fun.
fine. You're from Earth. That's all right. Lindsay, how you doing? Are you there? Lindsay. Oh, all right. So, Alex, young lady,
Yeah.
talk to me.
Actually, okay, so two things. I came up with another question,
Oh, please.
which was, how do you pinpoint people? Like you're far away, like we're all on, you know, at different places in the world. How, like, do you just trust that, like, you have the right person? Or,
Well, over time, we get to develop or hone in, I should say.
okay,
It's just like one time at a party, maybe about 25, 30 years ago, I went to a party and I was invited. I didn't crash it, I was invited. And it was for a bunch of healers. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll go. It's going to be fun. Maybe I know some people there and stuff, which I did. And at the time, I went with my ex-wife. And I turned to her and I said, as soon as we walked in the door, I said, oh my God, someone here has massive, massive cancer. I can smell it. And she said, who? I said, I don't know. And so I kept, going near people, and I still wasn't able to hone in on who it was because it smelled the whole room. And so then we all sat down to dinner, and there was this couple that was the host and her husband were sitting across from me. And she immediately started saying how she healed her husband from leukemia. And I said, he's the one. And, you know, it was him who had it. I hit my ex at the time and I said, he's the one, he's got it, he's got it. And so, you know, I didn't know how to hone in that, but I learned. And then some other situation happened maybe about 6 months later where I was in a room with a lot of people. And I just walked in and I started having these weird thoughts. And so I stopped myself from looking. It was like a test for myself. I stopped myself from looking where the thoughts are coming from, and I just put my head down, and I got so curious. This is the key. I got so curious as to where the thoughts were coming from because they weren't my kind of thoughts. And so I had a direction inside through my knowing, and I just swung my head around at this person and started staring at them, and they went like that, and they put their head down and walked away. So it was from that I learned how to hone in on it.
Okay.
In my way of doing things.
Right.
Without making a judgment and without thinking. And that's what I had to learn how to do, not to think when these experiences were coming. Because when I'm thinking, I'm putting the answer in there.
Right.
Or a wishful thinking.
Mm.
Capiche?
Right. Okay.
And so I'm quiet a lot of the time in trying to understand. Then the information comes to me instead of me thinking it.
Okay.
Capiche?
Capiche.
That means I love Starbucks and
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so second thing, my wisdom teeth. They've been killing me ever so slowly.
Are you planning on getting them out?
Well, one of the dentists told me that I should let them try to grow in as far as possible.
You should do what? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Let them grow in for as long as possible.
Okay.
And it's been about 6 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so now the top ones, like the bottom ones have broke through, but the top ones, they're giving me a headache pretty much every time I do not drink enough water every day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And water is really important.
Right.
And so, all right. Close your eyes for a second. And you tell me what I'm going to imagine action,
Okay.
putting my hands on either side of your cheeks, both sides. And tell me what you might sense. Don't think it, but what you might sense. Right there, you did for a moment.
Yeah, I very lightheaded, but very
Yeah.
numb.
Yeah, the lightheadedness is a clarity
Mm.
that comes upon a person that most people here have experienced. It's a clarity. Again, my left, your right.
I almost feel like they're being pulled down, but properly,
All right.
like rather than smashing into my other teeth.
And keep me updated, but don't think what's happening.
Right.
Observe, wonder. Right there. And there. And there especially.
I don't have the words. I know the feeling.
I know you can't express it, but if you could, what would it feel like?
Relief.
Now, Open up your eyes and move your head around a little bit, and tell me if you notice. And move it around and bite. And there you go. Tell me if you notice the difference.
Well, my headache has receded immensely.
From what to what? From a 10 to a what? About a 3.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so I heard that before you said it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking a little loudly in my head.
All right, and so 1 second here. See, all that affects the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments in the body. It affects the cranial rhythm. It affects everything. Yeah, what happened, hon?
It kind of felt like all my chakras opened up.
How do you feel inside?
Wow. Fluffy, if you will. Light and fluffy.
I like rabbits. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, this is the bad news, which is really good news. With everyone, these might be, they're what I call quick healings. And so it might last for 5 minutes, or will lead into a healing even more complete, or it'll last for the rest of your life. It's God's, not mine. But because of this, something in your life has changed, and that's what's important.
I believe that.
Definitely.
Any
Everything
final
happens
question?
for a reason.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said everything happens for a reason.
Everything.
And
At least, most things. There are some accidents in this universe. And
really?
yes, there are. The wrong person is at the wrong place at the wrong time and creates a little havoc in our lives that wasn't scheduled by the universe. Some things. It's not all God's fault.
I'll remember that.
Sometimes people just do crazy things out of nowhere, or say the wrong thing, that wasn't intended, just neurological mishap, and that's it. It blows everyone away. All right, everyone. We've gone over a little bit, and I really want to thank everyone so much. Please join us, and if anyone next month, and I'd love to hear updates. And if anyone's interested in an appointment, please feel free, and give me a call, and we'll set something up. A lot of my work on the appointment is prayer work within myself after I talk with you on the phone, and then I work with the person later that day or evening. And I work with the emotional as well, if anyone's interested. Don't forget, if anyone's in Phoenix, to see me in Phoenix. I'll be going there this coming Friday and doing a couple healing circles and a lot of appointments and a workshop. So if anyone's interested in the apprentice, let me know. I'd love to train people.
If I may, I'm Belva.
Hi,
did
Belva.
this work, and it was really delightful, an exciting, thorough event. And I kind of went through the hurricane here, having gone through the apprentice work with. It was just a beautiful support system.
Awesome.
I thank Mark for that. It was great.
Thank you.
Recommend.
Thank you so much, Belva. It's an honor.
And back at you. It was an honor to be a part of that.
And let's see, what else I was going to say. I can't remember. So let's boogie. And God bless you. And thank you so much. Please, if anyone's interested and goes on Facebook, put this on, what your experience might have been on Facebook. I'd love to see it. Blessings to you. Thank you so much. And it's an honor.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
To you.
Thank you.
Bless-
Thank you.